Activating the Xero module in WorkPool can be done in a few easy steps. Open the WorkPool System Administration interface, navigate to Standard Plugins, and click on the Xero Accounting link. Step 1 would be to do the authentication and application setup, perform data mappings, and then set the permissions allowing your users to perform actions with WorkPool and Xero. After registering WorkPool as a private app on your Xero dashboard, you will be provided with the information to paste here and the certificate that you generated. By doing that, you can save your settings, test the connection, and confirm that WorkPool and Xero is connected. From here, navigate to the data mappings, where you can configure a mapping between your WorkPool database and the Xero contacts. This is important because WorkPool will synchronize your contacts in Xero and the WorkPool database to ensure that billing can be done seamlessly. With the mappings completed, click on the permissions list, and here you can set which users in WorkPool can perform which actions. Some will be allowed to view only, some will have add and edit privileges, and other will have administrator privileges. Administrator privileges will allow you to view additional statistics and information that will not be available to all users. To do a quick test and compare, you can run the Compare Records link. And this will show you a quick compare between your WorkPool database based on the mappings you've provided and then the records within the contacts lists in Xero. Please note that WorkPool allows you to perform multiple Xero configurations so that you can synchronize with different instances based on different mappings within your database. With the configuration completed, you can now start billing directly from within WorkPool and push this information through to Xero. To access the billing module in WorkPool, you can click on the billing icon that will appear on the main menu. A list of all your Xero instances will appear over here, and you can perform a live sync between your WorkPool database and the Xero database. Doing so, WorkPool will indicate any conflicts that might exist or records that need your attention. The first time you sync between WorkPool and Xero, you can imagine quite a few conflicts might appear, and it's important that you attend to those. To create a record from WorkPool and push it through to Xero, you can click on this green button, and that will create the contact record in Xero immediately. So at WorkPool, we recognize that each business or practice is unique. The way that you bill, the way that you work, all of that could be different to the next practice. As such, we offer you multiple options to perform billing from within WorkPool. It doesn't matter if time is what you use to bill, if it's fixed rates, fixed costs, or even just using general tasks. All of that is an option from within WorkPool. In this demo, I will look very briefly at the 4 options we have. Firstly, you can do work performed on tasks or processes. This would be for interim billing, ad hoc billing, billing based on time agreed with the client. It could be that you want to perform billing based on a folder. A folder in WorkPool would be a directory entry, and that could be for any work that you do on a retainer or ad hoc work, or if you're not a practice that's logging tasks. You can also bill per resource, that would be per person within the business, or you can bill based on task classifications. In WorkPool, each task will always have a category or classification, and based on that you can either perform fixed cost billing, or you can bill randomly at any time of the month and then generate invoices directly from there. If we have a look at the first option as an example, depending on the selection you make, different options will appear. If I want to perform billing on task 7905, I will choose that, and up comes my job card. In WorkPool, you can actually link emails and timesheet entries to multiple clients. So depending on the work that you do, WorkPool can pick up that there could be a conflict and you would need to confirm which client or which entity you would like to bill. So the first time I opened this task, WorkPool picked up that there's an email, annual tax return for Gail Morgan, that has been filed into 2 folders. The same email in 2 folders. Since this is for Gail Morgan, I can choose the folder over here and submit changes. With my conflicts attended to, WorkPool will give me a list of all the time that's logged on this task that's ready for billing. If I'm a system administrator, it will also give me additional controls. For example, this report at the top, where I can see the people who've worked on this task, the time that they've logged, and the current billing status. Since I've entered the cost to company on WorkPool, it will also give me the real-time cost to company for this resource. Obviously, not everyone will be able to see that, but depending on your permission, you could. And then it will show me the amount that should be billed to the client. As I progress and as I do billing on this task or on this project, these numbers will be updated as I go. Below the summary, I will see a list of all the items that are currently available for billing. If we were to look at this task in WorkPool, you will see that it looks something like this. There is my task title, my task number, my date, all the documents that I've been working on, and also all the time that I've logged. So as a person performs work in WorkPool, they will log their meetings, phone calls, all the time that they've spent, and it will have a rolling total. And then when I'm ready to bill for this, I can pull that through within the billing module. So items on the task will appear on the same billing screen over here. This would match all the activities or timesheet entries that I've logged on my task. It will show me any details, the author, the time they've spent, and then the real cost, as well as the rate per hour I'm billing at and the billable fee. Since not all work is always billable, WorkPool provides me with a quick action panel where I can choose what I would like to bill or scrap permanently or ignore in the specific billing cycle. If I'm happy to bill all this work, I can click on the bill button, and on the bottom you will see that a list of all my billable line items will be prepared. Some I might want to discount, and I can click on this button to remove it permanently, or on another button to just exclude it from the specific billing. So if I'm happy to bill all of this, I can create all these billable line items. I can update any notes or information. You will also notice if I had a meeting that actually 2 timesheet entries will appear for both people who attended the meeting, and I will have a running total on the right hand side with all of my rates being pulled through. Click on Save Changes, and those will now create billable line items that are ready for invoice. Should I be ready to invoice right now, I can click on the Generate Invoice button, and all of these items will be prepared on one invoice. If I'm doing more work for this client, I can leave all of these billable line items in place and then perform billing once I've reviewed all the work. In this case, I'm going to leave these billable line items as is. Going back to the module screen, you'll notice that all those billable line items have now appeared under Gail Morgan's folder, and I can choose to either bill them individually or click to create an invoice for all of them. So before I do that, let's have a look at the second option. If it happens that you do work on a retainer, or if you just log your time within WorkPool for billing, or if you're not someone who needs to keep track of all of your work, you simply need to log your time either for reporting purposes or for billing, then you can just simply use the folder methodology of logging and billing time. In this case, I've got an Accenture retainer. WorkPool will ask me what date range am I looking at, and if I click on Submit, I will see a list of all the items available for billing from within this folder. There might have been a Steerco meeting, a web meeting, and monthly Steerco meeting after that. So I can choose to bill for all of this time. Should there be any additional items, let's say travel or even purchases, let's say that I have bought a USB stick, I can add all of that information in WorkPool, and that will then be translated over to the billing section. So say Submit, and you'll notice that all of these will appear. Depending on the type, it will switch from hour and minutes to items and quantity. Year 2, by just adding these billable line items, they will appear on the billing side, or I can click to generate the invoice directly from here. So here's an example of an invoice that was created. You'll notice all the details have been transposed, and if I click on Submit to Xero, this will be pushed through as a draft invoice on the Xero side. For the last example in this demo, I'm going to use the option bill for work based on task classifications. So this would be ideal for a practice who performs weekly or monthly services and bill those at fixed costs. Let's say that you do management reports. You can indicate the period and click on submit, and a report will come back with all the tasks that have been completed and that are currently ready for billing. It will show you the title, the folder, which is the client, the person who completed the work, the rate attached to that service, and then the actual time. This is quite nice because you can see when a specific task might have gone over the standard budget, and then you might not want to invoice it on the standard fee, but actually update it using and bill using the ad hoc service. From here as well, you can either choose to invoice directly or scrap this in case you're not going to invoice for that work. So I can click on say invoice, yes. As you can see, it's quite easy. Click and all of these invoices get created for you. If I go back to the billing module, here they all are. The 4 that I've just created, including the one that I pushed through using the folder method of billing, and all these billable line items that are ready as well. As I progress through the day, through the week, through the month, the billing items will appear in this list, sorted per folder, and then when I'm ready, I can perform billing at any point. Click either on the name of the folder to select all the items, or I can bill for them individually. And when I'm ready, I can click to create invoice, which will then take all of these items, generate an invoice, and push it through into the draft invoices list. And there we go. My invoice that I created earlier based on my retainer work, the 4 fixed cost invoices, and then the ad hoc billing. All of these will be issued a unique invoice ID within WorkPool, and that will be carried across to Xero as your unique reference. Pushing it through to Xero is as simple as going down to the bottom and say submit to Xero, which will then push it through as a draft invoice into the system. To submit all of your invoices in the queue to Xero directly, you can come back to the dashboard, then click on this button, or you can choose to bill them individually and push it through to Xero to then be checked, confirmed, and then issued from within the Xero system. We hope that's given you some idea of WorkPool's billing module, the way that we interact with the existing data within WorkPool, and how seamless it is to connect from WorkPool to the Xero system. If you have any more questions, please feel free to reach out to us on our website and we will make contact with you.